Okay, sir. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, that's why in that was many thing was the repetition. That's so I was telling about the F1. F1 is for fever. F2 is for the external application of the wherever it is, and it is very well mentioned in the any of the book if you are following. Then where F2 to be applied, I just circulated one map of the body map where where and for a what complaint where we have to apply. It is already done. Okay. So next is worm 1 and worm 2. Vermifugo is only used generally used for all the worm complaints, especially intestinal worms. And also, I told you in many authors they used it for the cancer also. And assuming that the uh, lungs and other organs, because they assume that whatever the bacterias and the this thing they respond to the worm remedy. Okay, they are worm one and worm two. And so based on the requirement you can go through this spigelia especially. This is for the roundworms, artemisia sena. Yeah, sena. You see the sena speciality is boring in the nose. They say boring in the nose means they put a nose inside a finger inside the nose. So or so that is the main symptom that children has a worms complaint. So also, so now next is the they want to separately, because even S group is all for the lymphatic system only. They found because they were invented not at a time. All groups were not invented at once a time. They were evolved one after the other. So in lymphatic group, this is called as L group, specially used works on all glandular system. Okay, especially on the you see salivary gland and stimulant. So goiter and thyroid, fucus, and sedative tonic, skin purgative, anti-rheumatic tonic, anti-diarrheal intestine, and like that. See why they are added into lymphatic group, you will come to know in this. Okay, lymph means all lymphatic system. For lymphatic system, I want to show you one video because I forgot to tell you, but even that has surprised me how beautifully that blood and lymph are circulating in our body so nicely. So I want to show you that. Let me check where it is. Lymphatic system. Yes.
When you go to the doctors for a routine checkup, they usually start by feeling your neck or sometimes behind of your ears. So some small proteins, not big
Yeah,
ones,
yeah,
but some
correct.
small
This one
proteins.
only.
You may have heard of this disease called elephantiasis, where the limbs of the body, like say one of the legs, start swelling up. What causes this swelling? To answer these questions, we need to look at the lymphatic system of our body. So, what is this lymph? Let's find out. To figure out what lymph is, let's start with something that we already know: the circulatory system. It consists of your heart, which doesn't look like this. I'm pretty sure you know about this. But since we are not focusing on the heart, let's just keep it this way. Anyways, this heart pumps this oxygen rich blood through this artery all the way into the blood capillaries. This is where the cells of our body starts removing the oxygen from the blood and starts throwing carbon dioxide back into the blood. And now the blood is deoxygenated because it no longer has oxygen. It has a lot of carbon dioxide, and that's why it's shown in blue. It goes all the way up through this vein into the heart, and then from there goes to purify in the lungs, and then it gets purified, comes back to the heart, and the cycle repeats. That's something we've seen before, right? But now let's talk about something that we haven't seen before, okay? The first thing is, remember that the blood inside the arteries, the vessels that take the blood away from the heart, so this one and this one, they are under pressure, right? Because as the heart squeezes, the blood is under pressure, which means the blood is pushing on the walls of these arteries. And another thing to focus on is that if you were to zoom into these capillaries, so if you were to look at one of those capillaries, then we see that the walls of the capillaries have holes in them. So now think about it. The blood over here is under pressure. That means the blood is pushing on the walls, and the capillary of that wall, the wall of that capillary has holes in them. What's going to happen? Well, if you thought that due to the pressure, the blood starts oozing out of these holes, then you are absolutely right. Now, we will not call this blood because blood contains plasma, which contains proteins, and then it has RBCs and WBCs and everything, right? Now, what oozes out is just the plasma, all right? RBCs can't ooze out because the holes are too small for RBCs to go out. So RBCs don't ooze out. The plasma comes out with a little bit of proteins. So some small proteins, not big ones, but some small proteins also ooze out along with this plasma. Okay, let me just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so this plasma that oozes out and then fills up this space between the cells, this is what we call the lymph. All right, and it's pronounced as lymph with an F over there. So how is lymph different than blood? Well, lymph does not have RBC in it, right? And as a result, lymph, it's pretty much colorless, okay? In fact, the word lymph comes from the Latin, which means water-like. Water-like. And why is it called water-like? Because it is pretty much colorless. And this means wherever these capillaries are present, the plasma will ooze out to form the lymph, right? And capillaries are found all over our body. So you will find this lymph pretty much everywhere inside your body. Okay, so what's the big deal? Why should we care too much about this? Well, first of all, this means that every time blood goes through the capillaries, it will start losing some of its plasma. That's bad because that means the blood will start getting thicker and thicker because it starts losing plasma. And eventually it becomes more and more difficult to circulate it because it's so thick. And that means our cells will not get any oxygen. And I'm pretty sure you know what would that mean. The cells would start dying. Secondly, as this lymph starts getting accumulated within our tissues, it starts pushing on the cells and the tissues will start getting puffed up. And that causes swellings. And that means our organs will start swelling up. And that's one of the reasons why in elephantiasis our limbs swell up. This is because of the accumulation of the lymph over there. Now, before we talk about how our bodies tackle this, I'll tell you what I should think about this. I should think that this is such a bad design. If we don't want the plasma to leak out, then why are there holes present in the capillaries? What a bad design, right? Well, guess what? The holes are necessary. Because you see, cells aren't only exchanging gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, which can easily pass through the walls, but they're also exchanging other stuff like nutrients. For example, glucose also, the cells need glucose. They get that from the blood itself. Then the cells produce some waste products like some nitrogenous waste sometimes, and that needs to be put back into the blood. And for that, we need space. They can't go through the walls. They are big, big molecules. They can only go through the holes. And so capillaries need that holes to exchange this stuff. And so since holes are absolutely necessary, there's nothing we can do about this plasma leaking out. And so the big question is, what does your body do about this? Well, thankfully, your body has a separate set of vessels which are called lymph vessels, which clear out this lymph from your tissues. So just like how we have blood vessels and blood capillaries, these are called lymph vessels. So thick ones are called lymph vessels and the thin ones are called lymph capillaries. So over here, if I were to show you those lymph capillaries, this lymph fluid enters into these capillaries and it clears the lymph out from your tissues. Now, one difference between blood capillaries and lymph capillaries you can immediately see is that blood capillaries connect to blood vessels, right? They're open-ended. But as you can see, the lymph capillaries, they are closed at one end. Can you see that? They're closed. And so I was really curious when I was studying this, how does the lymph just enter into this lymph capillary? It's pretty awesome. Let me show you how. Let me get rid of this leg and let me zoom into one of those capillaries. All right. The cells of these lymph capillaries, as you can see, have a little bit of overlapping structures. That's very important. So now when they are surrounded by this lymph fluid in the tissue, it's the same lymph fluid over here, the fluid starts pressing on the walls. So it starts pressing on the walls. And now look carefully what happens when the fluid starts pressing on the walls, okay? These walls open up. Look at the junction carefully. The walls open up like this. Cool, right? Let me show you one more time. The walls open up like this. And now the fluid enters the capillary. And now if you're wondering, why doesn't the fluid just flow back out through the same opening? Then once the fluid gets inside, it'll start pushing from inside, right? And as it pushes from inside, look at what happens to these walls. They will start closing now. Look carefully, they will now close. So it's like a one-way door. It only allows the fluid in, but doesn't allow it to go out. And that's how these capillaries clear out the lymph from your tissues. So now the next question would be, where do these vessels take that fluid eventually? Where do they put it? Can you guess this? Can you guess where they should put it back? Well, since lymph is basically plasma leaking out from the blood, it makes sense to put it back into the bloodstream, right? And so these lymph vessels eventually connect to one of the blood vessels to recycle it back into our circulatory system. But a question for you would be, do you think we should connect these lymph vessels to an artery or a vein? Can you pause the video and think about which one would you connect it to? All right, let's see. If we were to connect these to an artery, then we would have a hard time trying to force that lymph into the circulatory system because the arteries, inside the artery, the blood is under very heavy pressure, right? In fact, that pressure of the blood would actually force the lymph back out of these capillaries. It might even shatter the walls of the lymph capillaries. It's going to be very bad. So we want to re-enter it somewhere where the pressure is very low. And that is somewhere in the veins. And so the lymph vessels eventually connect to a vein somewhere close to the heart. That's where the pressure is the lowest. And then it re-enters into our circulatory system. And this is how the lymph vessels ensure that we get back the lost blood from the capillaries. And so let's write this down. One of the most important jobs of the lymph vessels is to clear that lymph out. So I'm just going to write clear lymph. So it takes the lymph from the tissues and puts it back into the veins. And so we are done, right? Because your blood is regaining the lost plasma from the capillaries, right? Well, not yet. Not quite, okay? And the reason is, what if your lymph vessels start picking up something unwanted? Like say, for example, your tissues are infected by some pathogens, like say some bacteria. Then when the lymph enters into these vessels, even the bacteria might start entering over there. And then these bacteria might enter into your bloodstream. You don't want any bacteria in your circulatory system. That's going to be pretty bad. So what to do? Don't worry. Your lymph vessels are awesome. They have security points all over them. Okay? These are called lymph nodes. Let me just write that down. Lymph nodes. And they have a lot of WBCs over there. WBCs are like police, all right? So when the lymph enters into these nodes, if there are any unwanted stuff like bacteria, the WBCs are going to kill it. This will make sure that no unwanted stuff enters your bloodstream. It's pretty cool, right? And so you see, these lymph vessels also help in killing unwanted stuff from your body. So they also help in immunity. So they help in immunity. That's pretty cool. And guess what? If any of your lymph vessels pick up a lot of bacteria, then a lot of WBCs will gather in that lymph node, and that node will now swell, which means swollen nodes are an early indication of infections. And that's what the doctors are checking for when they are feeling your neck. It turns out there are a lot of these nodes near your neck and your ears, and so they touch that and see if any of those are swollen. If they are swollen, good chance there is an infection somewhere. Now, before we wind up, another important job that your lymph vessels have is to transport fat into your bloodstream. So I'm just going to write transport fat for short into your bloodstream. And what I mean by this is, imagine you have your small intestine somewhere over here. All your food gets digested and then they come out of the small intestine, and most of the nutrients can directly enter into the capillaries through these holes. And that's how the nutrients enter your bloodstream, and then they are circulated to all the cells. But the digested fats which come out of your intestine are just too big to enter into these capillaries. So they can't directly enter the bloodstream. So they are again picked up by the lymph vessels or the lymph capillaries. Then they go through the lymphatic system and then they reach the bloodstream. And so that's how the fat enters your bloodstream, through the lymphatic system. So what did we learn in this video? We talked about the awesome lymphatic system of our body, which consists of the lymph nodes, and the lymph vessels. The lymph is basically the plasma that leaks out of your capillaries due to blood pressure. This lymph is picked up by these lymph vessels, which recycle it back into our circulatory system through the veins. And the lymph nodes act like security to make sure that no pathogens enter our bloodstream. And finally, the lymph vessels found near the small intestine help in transporting these digested fat into our bloodstream as well.
Thank you. Because I wanted to show this, because the concept of electronopathy is lymph and the blood. So in this uh, occasion, I want to show you about this also. Okay. Uh, okay, you understood now lymphatic system, because we are going under a lymphatic system. So whatever you saw here, mainly all this is controlled by the L1. This is only one group. It is all S series. They work on the lymphatic system only. But especially for the all glandular, you have saw here, sweat gland, so many things we cover because of these, and even echinacea is a very good purifier of blood also. So they have added the quality of this ingredient and what it is doing in our body. Okay. So when we are handling, like, in case of breast tumor, how do we address that? A3 we give, because disintegrate has to be done, or debris you should take it out. C5 we have to give for the that is working on the fat system, or you can say C5 is working on the fibrous tissues. Yes, fibrous tissues. So, and plus L1, so that we are covering from all the sides. So next one is vermifugo group, very important group. Means one thing which is not, we have not covered, is which is acquired. If any infection is acquired during the any stages, or this is the this particular when one group is used. Okay, and it is veneral means you can understand anything connected to the sexual organs. We can may be the balanitis, or you can say vaginitis, or you can say any itching, all, or you can say the if it can be because of a hereditary the poison, or you can say all psora, psychosis, syphilis, everything combined together, it is there in the venereal group. So if you think that anything has come due to the infection, or you can say venereal disease, so you can use this. Even though it is not a venereal disease, still if you think it is a origin maybe from that, you can use the ven group. It is very strong, means there are so many thuja is also there, you see. And if you want to go in the details, you can definitely go through the materia medica and understand. But you can think that all the degenerative diseases are basically from the venereal group also. So you should give this group whenever there is a either male or female genital things are involved. You can give along with that, especially for white discharges in women. We can definitely give this remedy. Okay. Now there are so many white color. We have five electricities in this. White electricity is the natural light. Natural light, what it gives? It is having a no polarity. It is a neutral, and it gives a lot of nutrition. You understand, na? So we can give for any nutritional deficiency. We can give the even internally also we can give the white electricity. And based on the colors, they have sphere of action is derived on that only. For example, next is green electricity. Green electricity is used on the skin problem, and it has got a the anti-syphilitic property. And blue electricity is generally used for all, I know, you can say already they have written here, and especially for all respiratory problem, and as the uterus as the ointment, increase the blood circulation, and nutrition, emotional emollient and absorbent, like that, anti-malarial, antiseptic, and anti-diarrheal tonic. Especially all and we can say green color is generally used for what in our gem therapy. It is all for used for such cases only, on skin related thing, and in on that also you can apply. Go through
Uh,
this. Ha, sir.
Sir, sir, the white electricity. So
Hmm.
this is as good as our micro and macro nutrients, sir. In
Exactly. Yes, we can use like that only. That is
Okay,
micronutrient you can give. It is for generally given for the coping up after the any big uh, diseases, like when there someone is picking up after the grave disease, you can definitely give the white electricity.
okay, sir.
White electricity can generally they are all given in a within 6x potency. You can give 6x potency, definitely it gives a tonic effect. You see what are the ingredient of that white electricity. It almost covers every action of our body. Avina sativa, it is nerve tonic. Arnica, circulation. Agaricus is a nerves. And Achillea mellifolium, it is for the millefolium for bleeding, to control that. And the summaries are given here. What all what all with that intention, it is whatever they're telling. Don't think that only this is the limit. This is only a hint they have given about the Achillea mellifolium. You see, they have not given the bleeding like anything, and the points, because this achillia melifolium mainly used for bleeding also. So agaricus is used for the nerve tonic. This is used as a nerve tonic. You just see in any of the nerve tonic in homeopathy, agaricus is the main remedy. Okay. So like
Sir,
that, sir.
sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Huh.
Like what we have in CC combo, sir.
Hmm.
Here, you touched upon everything
Hmm.
for generic. Like high blood pressure,
Hmm.
diabetes.
Hmm.
I mean things like that. Ulcers,
Hmm.
digestion,
Hmm.
constipation. Any specific combination that we follow, sir? Do you
I have
have any?
already circulated, sir.
Okay.
Like first day itself, last time Sunday, I circulated all those things. But I don't want you to follow those things. That is
Okay.
formula is there for high BP, this, that, everything formula is there. I want you to make the formula. I want you to make the formula based on the action of the each remedy.
Okay.
Otherwise, giving a straightforward combination for each different type of disease, it's very easy job. But I want you to think and use these combinations. Sir, for like
Okay.
that only. I already circulated, and we will see if I am if able to do this VM Kulkarni's book. It is in the what you call BJN publisher. If it is available, we will find it out from the BJN publisher, or we'll definitely search for a PDF if it is there. Okay, sir.
Sir, you sent Excel sheet, sir. What is that one? Sorry, sir. For to
Yeah,
last
yeah.
Sunday. It's an Excel sheet, sir, or
No, no, Excel sheet is that is the Nada Brahma code,
rates,
and
sir.
hard code for the all those that is the compiled by our Sri Ramji.
Yes, sir.
He has done it with all referring to all those things. So all S1, S2, there are in between some numbers are missing there. But
Yeah.
no need to think about that. You think mainly this sheet only you should use, and for
Okay.
understanding. Later you can but if you start using that sheet only, then you will not be able to understand in depth.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Ah. So in blue electricity, see, sir, they are used. Blue is generally for bleeding, and yellow electricity is for again the especially on the urinary sphere it is working, and also for it is also used for the some what you call external application for any of the uh, viruses and bacteria, antiseptic. This yellow is generally it is for worms. You can go through whatever I say. This is not it is not limited to this much only. This is much more than that. Whatever I said, it is more than that. But just easily to identify you, because all the joint pain, for all the joint pain, which remedies are used? We can use the red electricity, and even the green electricity also. Blue, yellow, red electricity. Red electricity is just like anything you want to heat, like with the infrared light. When you heat something, you want to heat the particular part because of the lack of energy, or like a lack of heat there. If it is cold, in such cases, definitely we can use the red electricity. It's a, you see, rhododendron is one of the most important remedy in the arthritis, anti-arthritic remedy. So anti-arthritic remedy. So these are all arthritic remedies, anti-arthritic remedies. You can use it for joint pain, and you can make in the, what I suggest you use the coconut oil and pulsate it for 15 minutes and use for a external application. Okay, red electricity can be used for the local application by using the infuse the this red electricity number into the coconut oil, and that can be used for the external application. And last combination is laxativo. Laxativo is generally used for as a laxative for getting the motion properly. Okay, if anybody is not having correct motion, and this is a wonderful thing in electrohomeopathy that we have one laxative in the electrohomeopathy can be given in the low potency up to 3x potency, 6x potency you can give. There they are calling as a D potency. It is equivalent to X potency. And the last and most important one is the APP. APP is generally it is used for the as a skin application for the skin, external application for the skin. Very nice thing, and it is in the text it is mentioned that the Queen of Italy used to use this combination during the Count Caesar Medi's time. So it was very wonderful thing. See, you can see the antiseptic property of all those things. This is a combination. We already derived this also. You can use directly. You can do one thing. You can take the rose water from the Apollo clinic. You can use clinic, not clinic, pharmacy. They get a one. If you take buy one, they get one free also. I think 100 rupees you get a two thing. So you just without opening the seal, you just keep it on the out disk by uh, charging with the APP. You can infuse the thought of APP and use for the external application. So this is you refer when you go through my all the list, or you can say that Sri Ramji, whatever he has given you, if you go into that, all these are we have already made the number. So you can, yes, I think so. You are referring to this. Yes. This is a limited thing. I think so. Another one is also there. So for S1, S2, everything we have mentioned it. For all the electrohomeopathic remedies, we have already given. Yes. Sriramji has a made it very decorative way. So I will share that also. Here you can see A1, A2, S1, S3, all those things. Primary numbers are there. Primary mixtures are all there. We have, okay, just you can, there is a small error in this. I have already changed that and given. There is only three twos and five. 5 and 6. Okay. So this I already circulated in the group. So you can see whatever we have studied now. All numbers are available here. I was telling about APP. Run this, have this, and even run the APP by our dial machine, or you can say many people, like you have seen how Venkatesh ji has done, how he can convert into the sound into the transferring into the liquid or water, or you can say you can use that also for transferring these numbers. Because the only 2 hours were not sufficient. So for that only, okay. And there is one more thing, because this we are into the last phase of our course. Mainly, we will be studying all the means the practical approach to the healing only. Now everything we have already covered. This is a wonderful thing which I am now sharing, already shared with you.
ಸರ್ ಜಮ್ ರೆಮಿಡೀಸ್ ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್?
Yes, you say you will take the germ remedy, no problem, sir. I will
Great,
share
sir.
the germ remedy book, and we'll see in our next class. See, this is one of the most important PDF. By disease, we will come to know. For example, you want for acidity, what to be done? Click there. You will get these are the remedy. In case you are going through our acidity combination, Vibrionic acidity combination, in that one, if you think something is missing, if it is not there, this also you can give. And now you should understand what are your tools. What are your tools for prescribing? This one also, whatever I am giving you this PDF is it has got a links within the PDF. Like go back to home. Home means again you will find all the, today we saw that glands and other things we studied. Go to the adenoids. For adenoids, see here also it is given on the intercurrent remedy. To start remedy as an intercurrent remedy, Bacillinum 1 m or 10 m fortnightly. You can use the frequent dose, 3 doses, like that. It is there. It is will also help you in go to the individual and try to select according to the symptom. So whatever you don't know, the avoid adenoids, how way to see these all the terminologies, you will be able to see in the Satyasai guide, or you can say Darbari guide. You will be able to see about get the explanation about the remedy diseases, and also you can Google it for the in-depth understanding about the disease. You will be able to find it. Okay, let us see bad breath. What is the remedy? So these are the remedy. Marxol is the main remedy. Sorenum, like that. You can go to the any of the, because there might be possibilities that at one stage you may not be able to give the relief, give the result. Then what you have to think, don't declare that yes, Vibronic, you can't cure it. Don't say that. Instead, go with a different approach. Different approach. What something, what beauty tips you want to give, let us see. Berberis Barberries aquafolium. Berberis aquafolium is one of the external remedy which is used for the skin beauty. It is there in our numerical medica. Whatever I am saying, it is only in the form of our remedy, Vibronic remedy only. Though we are the remedies same, name is same, but I am only talking about the, you can work on a different level. Keep thinking, keep discussing. We'll discuss any of the issues, and definitely we are going to talk about the some uh, the one cancer. If some cancer they are coming, how we can support from the spiritual point of view. From the spiritual point of view, how we can support them. We will take that, and what are the causes of the cancer. We will study one chapter, one I think for 1 hour we'll study in the GNM also we are going to study. So I will just put a seed in you. You, when again, when you want to go in the detail, definitely you can go in the details. So uh, so tell me, is there any doubt, sir? Any doubt? And means you want to know more about this. And I have already circulated disease wise the electro-homeopathy, but I want you to make your own combination. Tak 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 tak, you should be able to see, tell all S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, S10, S11, S12, tak tak, you should be able to understand. Yes, one like that. You pakka mug up. If you no, I will otherwise revise for you. S1 is for a general like a detoxification. S2 for the urinary problem. S3 is for the spine and the skin. And S4 is for the spinal system and bone. And S5 is for the bladder and kidney. S6 also for bladder and kidney. Because S5 Blurberry's vulgaris is there, S6 Solidago is there. And S10 it is for loose motion and nerve related thing. S11 is for the giddiness and the vertigo. And S12 is for eyes. Then again come back to the C group. C1 is for female, C2 is for urinary organ, C3 for skin, C4 for the bone, C5 for the fibrous tissues, C6 is again the all kidneys related thing, and C10 directly. C10 is for the liver cirrhosis and liver problem, and C15 is for the hernia, C17 for urinary tuberculosis, something like that. P1 is for general for all the respiratory related P1. P2 is for something with a dry cough and something like that. P3 is for the thinner tube, the air tubes we can give for the P3, and P4 is for a nose congestion and nasal obstruction. All that we can be given, and like that. A1, A2, A3, how you do? A1 is for arteries, A2 is for veins and bleeding, A3 is for capillaries. Yeah, and like that. Worm 1 is for the internal, all worms. Worm 2 is generally used for external things and even used for some skin diseases also. Worm 2 is some stronger in nature. So like that, lymphatico, we saw that lymphatic organs, all lymphatic problems, or you can say one of the most, the elephantiasis is one of the most, the lymph systems disease. Any swelling on the legs is generally lymphatic system cause, and if L1 has to give, even along with all we saw in the video, all lymph track, there are lymph nodes are there, and to address that L1 is given. And red electricity is just like for all rheumatic cases, blue electricity and is all for respiratory, and even for a bleeding also it can be used. Green is especially for skin diseases, and yellow generally used for the all worm related problems. So white electricity is a general tonic. Based on this, I am telling you, I have seen very big list of, they are all confusing and it is not correct. So like this, whatever I say, this last sentence, this last 2-3 minutes, whatever I said, you mug up that and keep everything ready. Suddenly it should come to your mind. If someone is having bone cancer, bone related things, bone fracture, you should always think about C4. C4, then what you have to do? After for C4, along with that, you should give the A3 also, because it has to supply the blood supply to that particular organ. When something crack is there or a fracture is there, you should all A1, I1 also you can give, A3 you can give, so that it will give the all capillary circulation we have to increase and join the bone. Bone joining is C4. Like that we have to uh, no, design the combination. And most of the problems are lymphatic in origin. S1, if you give it to most of the problem, you are going to solve. All digestive problem and so many. S1 is a very wonderful group. You can at the starting, like homeopath give the Naxomica, like that you can start with the S1 remedy. So I told you, whichever is the additional in the group, you just study that only. And the Shri Ramji, whatever you shared, that PDF is excellent one. So if you refer that and whatever is there on the top, and that is enough for making the combination. Yes. Like C3 we got a mesorium there. Mesorium, it is excellent for the all the eczema. C3 is for eczema. Along with that, eczema, what you have to give? On the skin surface, what blood vessels are there? Capillaries are there. So you can give A3, yes, A3 and C3. Like that, we can design and confirm it, and we can give. The electrohomeopathy is very fantastic thing. I was a diploma in electrohomeopathy in 1993. Before the Vibrionics could come to me, I was a electrohomeopathic diploma holder. Anyway, it was very interesting topic. Okay, sir, any doubt? Anything else you wanted to know? Anything just? Yes, sir.
So no, sir, it was as usual fantastic class, sir. Just listening, a lot of GAN, sir. Thank
No,
you,
sir.
sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you have to remember, it is very easy. I told you, na. I possible will make a note. A1, A2, A3, P1, P2, P3, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, like that. C6 or C10, C15, C17. They are main this thing. Easily you will be understanding how what additional they have added into a group. You have to see that only. C group is all for canceroso. Canceroso means any excess of the accumulation in the body. Anything which it is not taken out from our circulatory system and they started, one wonderful example I will give you. Whenever you go out in the market, if you drink a tea or coffee, you will try to find a place where all old cups are fallen. Anna? You will see, if there is no any dustbin there, you will see where people have thrown the cups. We will throw there only.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is what is in our yata brahmande tata pindande. Here also that same thing happens. Wherever they are throwing the garbage, there only it will come and accumulate. For accumulating, then how to disintegrate? For giving the remedies and also for sweeping it. How do you sweep? Through circulation. How circulation? A1, A2, A3. A group is for circulation. P group for all the pectoral is called. It's all for a respiratory system. And C group is for all the tissues and the this one. S group for lymphatics. And you can say S group is for functional disturbance.
Hmm.
C group is for structural disturbance.
Okay.
If something structure problem is there, you have to think in C group.
C group.
Only function problem is there, you should see in the S group. Function as well as the structural is there, you have to join S group and C group also. And also A group for the circulation. Circulation is very important. Yeah, that you want to cure any disease, you need a very good circulation there. First, you have to think whether if it is a heart is involved, think about A1. If something veins are involved, you think about A2. If capillary small blood vessels are involved, you think about A3. So that's fantastic one. Very easy.
Yes, sir.
So like that, you can. So for making any skin disease, you just give S1 and A3. S1 and A3 for itching, I'm telling you. If there is nothing, no growth, but if there is small itching is there, redness is there, you can just give A3 and S1.
Okay.
Like that, we can design our thing. I'm telling you, please don't go through the ready-made formula. They are not correct. They are not prepared properly, and they have joined unnecessary so many things. So like that only. Anything else, sir, please? This is
Sir,
my
remove
favorite
the toxic,
subject. Huh?
remove the toxic in the body.
S1. Remove toxic in body is S1. And there are two types of toxics. One
Okay.
Bhayankar toxic.
Uh,
Bhayankar toxic means Ven group.
uh,
Venereal group.
okay.
Venereal disease. If it is because as per the Hahnemann, Sora, psychosis and syphilis, these are the main reason for our disease. What is it means? These are all sexual diseases. Gonorrhea is a sexual disease. Syphilis is a sexual disease. And as per the Hahnemann, he says all diseases are generated out of these three diseases. So, Sora, psychosis and syphilis. Sora is a one thing. Sora is a functional level, thought level. If someone thinks wrongly, only thinking wrongly, that is Sora. Something does wrongly, that is the all psychosis and syphilis. And all murderers and terrorists, they fall in the group of syphilitic miasm. Syphilitic miasm. All that syphilitic because they want to destroy, they want to kill, they want to remove the peace. So that's what. This is what is happening within our body also. Sora is just irritation. Psychosis is the swelling. There is a 3-step disease. You take any disease, first it becomes an inflammation. It becomes a red inflammation, it will be there. Itching will be there. That is the first Sora. Second one is psychosis. It becomes swelling. The swelling, there will be a discharge from that swelling. It's called a syphilis. So tomorrow I will share one group, and because I'm telling you, this last month is only the techniques of prescribing only we have to acquire. Different ways of prescribing, because you don't know your patient, what he starts talking, we don't know. Last time we have seen the Saigal method. Saigal method. So क्यों भाई क्यों आया नहीं, वो लगा क्या करना, वो मेरे को बहुत काम था, मतलब he is indifferent. And I told you how to follow that remedies. आज शिवमोगा आया था तो इसलिए चलो श्री राम जी से मेडिसिन लेके आते, मीन्स नॉट सीरियस अबाउट हिज डिसीज. So likewise, There are the list of people, and if he's no, while talking, he's laughing, means he's taking so light. हाँ आया, मैं इधर आया था ना, सो मैं थोड़ा सोचा आपके ऐसे मेडिसिन ले लो, बेलेडोना इज अ रेमेडी. देन बोला गुस्सा आएगा तो क्या करेगा, गुस्सा आएगा तो आई थ्रो समथिंग इन फ्रॉम माय हैंड, वो बोलेगा देन बेलेडोना, एंड व्हिच ही सपोज टू कीप हिडन थिंग्स हिडन, वो पक्का सबको बोल रहा है, मीन्स ही वांट टू बी नेकेड. That is hyosamus. So likewise, you can read those book. Already I shared the book, and business talks. He
Yes.
is bedridden. वो पक्का सो रहा है. But when you start about the business, पक्का उठ के बैठ जाएगा वो. हाँ, कैसा business कैसा चल रहा है? How you are doing means that is a bryonia. Need to give the bryonia medicine. Let him have anything, cough, or you can say back pain, anything. Or if you give bryonia, he'll become all right. So likewise, we will acquire. So next time, that Shankaran methods we are going to study. This Sunday, we are going to study the Shankaran's method.
Okay, sir.
That is my favorite subject. I went to Mumbai for that learning that. So very nice, and so you will be able to classify a patient in a plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, and the animal kingdom. Which animal
Yes,
and
sir.
like which plant? That I will share you the book. You go through. Then the Sunday we will take that.
We schedule at 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30. We will do it on 10:30. 10:30, so that that really fantastic one. I really like that topic, because casual talking, but talking, you will come to know what is the problem. Tuck. And now we have one more thing. We can make the periodical table remedies directly. In the Shankaran case, he is giving this periodic table, what are the remedy comes. But now we can directly go to the periodic table and make the remedy. Very interesting. I will tell you, no problem. Huh? So anything else?
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು 1 ಅವರ್ ನನಗೆ.
ಹಾ, ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಹುಡುಕ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ.
ನಾನು ಒಂಚೂರು ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಇವತ್ತು, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಈದ್ ಮಿಲಾದ್ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತ.
ಓಕೆ. ಹಾ, ಹೌದು, ಇವತ್ತು ಹಬ್ಬ ಅಲ್ಲ.
ಹಾ, ಏನ್ ಜೋರು ಮೆರವಣಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು.
ಹ್ಮ್.